Today, we will start with future-proofing ourselves by building better habits. Our first speaker is the founder and head coach of Winning Coaching, which empowers clients through life coaching to help them become the best versions of themselves. As a corporate trainer and consultant, he has catered to some of the top companies in the Philippines like Toyota, BPI, Nestle, Jollibee, Intel, Maynilad, Avon, and Smart Communications, among others. He's a certified neuro-linguistic programming practitioner, or NLP, and conducts life coaching sessions for big groups as well as individual clients. He is the author of You Can Be Happy Again: Breakthrough Tips from a Life Coach. It was launched at the Manila International Book Fair by Shepherd's Voice Publications, led by Brother Bo Sanchez. Friends, please welcome Coach Edwin Soriano.
Thank you so much, JP. Thanks, everybody. It's good to be here. Quick survey while I'm just introducing myself. Can I ask people where they're dialing from? Makati, Malaysia, Singapore, Davao, wherever that is. Let's get some interaction happening while I am sharing with you a couple of things about myself. May I? Cebu, BGC. Hey, I'm in BGC as well. QC, Makati. Thank you so much. Future Proof Ortigas from JP Paranaque. Very nice, very nice. It's good to be here. Thank you for inviting me for Future Proof. I'm Edwin Soriano. Maybe in the Q&A, turn on my video just so we get more interaction and eye time with you guys. Keep going with your responses. I'm reading them. And in the meantime, very briefly, I'd like to introduce our company. So I'm Edwin Soriano. I'm an author, trainer, and life coach. And I am the founder of Winning Coaching, which helps people, which helps teams grow so that their businesses grow. Some of our clients up there, I won't go through anymore. We've also appeared in various media outlets, like the ones that you see on your screen now. We have signature programs, including our public program called Find Your Happy, and corporate programs like Transformation Toolkit, Change Challenge, Greater Goals, which you'll have a taste of this afternoon. Lead as a Peaceful Warrior, and Skyrocket, 45-day goal fulfillment program. Good to see people from Makati, Pasig, Ortigas, Cavite, Clark, and Binondo. This is How to Build Better Habits to Skyrocket Your 2018. Let's start with a quote. It's a story of the stonecutter. We're aiming to future-proof you through habits, and this is how it goes. So I'm reading it from the slide. Look at the stonecutter hammering away at his rock, perhaps 100 times without as much as a crack showing in it. I'm sure many of us have felt like our actions are not getting the result we want. Yet, at the 101st blow, it will split in two. Question for everybody. Out of 101 blows of the stone cutter on the rock, which blow, which stroke broke the rock? Very quickly, your answers on chat. Which blow, which stroke broke the rock? Okay, we'll move forward. It was not the last blow that did it, but all that had gone before. So if you want results in your life, you'll need to do things consistently. You'll need to form habits that will empower yourselves towards your goals. Thank you for that interaction, Alan, Peter, Alan, both of you. Okay, so in the next very short presentation for me here, it's going to be around 10 minutes, so we have some 5 minutes of Q&A. 3 steps to build better habits. Step 1, acknowledge. 2, aspire. 3, act. Let's dive in. Okay, step one. What I want you to do, if you have a piece of paper or if you have a notepad on your laptop, go ahead and just list three or five. Go ahead and list three or five um, daily morning habits. We're starting with morning habits just because this is a brief presentation. But if I were doing a coaching with someone, I would ask them to list both the morning and the evening habits or routines. So go ahead and quickly, on your own, go ahead and write down your daily morning habits, your routines, starting from the moment you wake up or the moment you wake up until you get to work. So what would that be? Wake up, turn off the alarm, gargle, prepare breakfast, take a shower. Go ahead and list those routines because this is going to be the jump off point when we go to step two later. Your current routines, your current habits are already giving you uh, results. So uh, the second part of acknowledge is learn. Your routines, your current routines are already giving you results. What have you learned about them? What have you learned about yourself? For example, once upon a time, my waking time was either 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or sometimes 9:30. I press the snooze button so much it wears off the snooze button. So what if that was still my habits today? What would I be learning from it? What do I gain from it, if any? So learn. You need to learn from what's serving you or not serving you. And the third part is level up. After you've listed your routines, maybe three, five, eight of the things that you do when you wake up, which of these routines can be made better? If you have them written down on your notepad, go ahead and encircle or put an asterisk on the routines that could be made better. Okay, yes, read Bible. Very nice. I've developed that as well. Okay, so step one is just acknowledging your current, just allowing yourself to reflect on what your current state is. So we're going to step two, which is aspire. Okay, now that you've identified what your current was in step one and the things that you want to change about step one, what do you want to go towards? So, first part of this is visualize. Visualize your goal. What do you want to have by the end of the year? For instance, okay, is it a better body? Is it better relationships? Is it a promotion in your job? Is it an improvement in your business, double or triple your sales, etc.? What's your goal? Visualize it. And then second part would be what's the value of your goal? And when I ask what's the value, why is it important to you? You want to remind yourself of the value of the goal because there are two motivators in life, pleasure or pain. So when you're clear with why the goal is important to you, you're able to better move towards pleasure or move towards the value of your goal. The third part is veer away. If you continue, example, the current things that you're doing now, they've served you in the past. Now we're looking at if you continued some of your bad habits, some of the habits don't help you, and if you just continued on, what would your life look like after 6 months? Give that some thought. If you just continued on with, for example, procrastination, staying up too late and working too and waking up too late. If you just continued these not empowering habits, what would your life look like? By the way, I've used these techniques for clients who just needed to make major changes in their lives, like addiction sometimes, or just a change in career, or breaking free from a toxic relationship or anger. And these techniques have resulted in new businesses, in new reinvented careers, and renewed relationships. So what I'm sharing with you, if we had more time, would be life changing, and I'd love to have more time with later on. Okay, so the part three of Aspire is, what would things look like if you didn't change anything? Move away from that pain. Okay, we're going to step number three. Step number three is take action. And I'll teach you a term here. I'll teach you a technique. Earlier, JP mentioned that, hey, he's done with writing New Year's resolutions. So here's one of the magic sauces. It's called NEMA. No excuses, minimum action. What does that mean? For instance, let's just take an example. The habit that you want to form is reading a book. Just want to get back to reading a self-improvement book or something, one of the books. So a no excuses minimum action is, if you want to read books, you will need to start, well, number one, opening the book and reading one page. So what is a NEMA for you? A no excuses minimum action, something that you can consistently do on a daily basis, regardless of what happens. So in this example, a NEMA for me is 1 page a day, or one push up a day. That would be a NEMA. So embed it into your existing daily routine. That's where the first part comes in. You already have existing daily routines. How do you embed your NEMA? For example, my daily routine is, for example, taking a drink of water. So right there with that drink of water, if I put a bottle of vitamins, I'd be able to drink that vitamin consistently every day. Okay, I'll give you more examples in a bit. Third part would be empower your habit. Have an accountability partner. So again, set up a reward for doing it consistently for 30 days, for example, and a penalty for not doing it. A funny example of this would be a group that I heard of. Their penalty for not doing or accomplishing something is, a group of men, by the way, is getting a Brazilian. A Brazilian, what do you call it? A Brazilian for hair management. That's the punishment that they set for themselves. They're just having fun, but yeah, it is painful. So, would you rather read 1 page a day or get a Brazilian at the end of the month? So, that's an example of giving yourself a penalty. We're moving on to some examples. So, as a recap, step one is acknowledge, step two, aspire, and step three, take action. Okay? Treatment and care. Pwede. Okay, so for example, acknowledge, some case studies. Acknowledge, who among us reads Facebook first thing in the morning? So if this is you, say I. Okay, so if you've acknowledged that reading, spending 10, 20, 30 minutes in the morning on Facebook is part of your routine, among many things, and you've acknowledged that this is one of the things that you'd want to improve, what would you want to aspire for? For example, I want more meaningful, more productive mornings. So what's the action? Instead of replacing reading Facebook, maybe you can start by writing on your journal. Yeah, sure. So go ahead, write on your journal for maybe 5 minutes if that's your NEMA, the no excuse minimum action. Okay, so start with 5 minutes on your gratitude journal. And then if you want to go to Facebook, go ahead, do that after. So when there's a temptation, when you're right in front of your phone about to open Facebook, change it a bit. That's what Better Habits is about. You're already doing something routine, you're just changing it a bit. Before diving into Facebook, do your gratitude journal. How about that? Okay, thank you. No time for TV or Facebook. Yes, looking for news. Yeah, that's something that could be helpful. And if you want to make it better, slip in 5 minutes of something else. Okay, here's another example. Study number two. And then in a while, I'll be asking you to declare your own. Okay, case study number two. For example, while commuting, you're spending your time playing mobile games or watching movies. Yes, could be good entertainment. The thing is, if you do this on a daily basis for the rest of 6 more months, would you be a better person by then? That's a question you will need to answer. And maybe something that you want to aspire for is to learn how to invest. So instead of spending 1 hour playing games or watching movies on your mobile phone, would it be good to listen to a podcast or watch educational videos while you're doing that commute? It's just that. It's just really finding space in your day, something that you're already doing, just change it a bit and it enhances your life. Okay. Yeah, if you want to insert, okay, so let's go to the last slide. Now it's your turn. So you've identified you've acknowledged that you do have some routines, you're aspiring for something better and take action. So I'd love to be your accountability partner. Send me over your better habits declaration. What is it that you want to be better at? We have some examples on the chat box. Insert exercise in the daily morning routine. So that's an example that comes in from Jacqueline. How do you do that? For example, in the morning, you're rushing out. Here's what I do. Okay, here, I'll give you an example, Jacqueline, of how I did things back then. One time I was working for Intel Philippines, the chip maker, and our shuttle would go from building 3, 2, and then 1. I was working in building 1, but every day, just so that I have my 5 minutes of walking, 5 minutes of reflection time, instead of getting off at building 1, I would get off at building number 2, so that I have a 5 minute walk towards building number 1. So it's just that. It's just 5 minutes changing part of your routine so that you have additional exercise. If you work in a building, Jacqueline, is it possible for you to get off 2 floors before your floor and take the stairs going up? That will take you just what, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and that's your daily exercise. Is that a no excuse minimum action for you? It's up to you to determine. Good idea, JP. Okay. Yeah, you take the stairs as much as possible. Very good. So that's it. How do you improve on that impact? Okay, do it daily. Make it part of your routine. So, as a recap, 3 things that you need to do to build better habits: acknowledge, aspire, and take action. And I'd love to help you out with building better habits. And there's a gift that I want to give to you. Okay, so I have a gift, but before that, it's just really this. If there's one thing that you need to remember from this first session of future proof, what we are what we repeatedly do. So I want to help you. The thing that I'm aiming for this year is just to help more and more people, and I want to help you. So what I prepared for the future proof guys is a better habits playbook. This is a guide. This is a PDF document that you can download, and you can get it for free right here, right now, at this URL, edwinsoriano.com/betterhabits. So you can go over to that site and download the playbook. You can print it out and write on the document, and I'll also include the slides in that URL at a later date, probably within the day. So thank you for repasting that, JP. Let's open up for a few minutes of questions, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, if there are any. If not, we can transition and go to the next.
Great. Thank you for that, Coach Edwin. So
Thanks,
if
JP.
anyone has questions, maybe we can take a few minutes. By the way, during our talks throughout the entire week, you can just post your questions at any time in the chat and we'll get them to the speakers. So if someone says something that tickles your brain and you want to, want to delve into it, just go ahead and chat away. All right, Lynn, looks like we have a question from Margie, Future Proof 2018. How do you shake off bad habits? And this is something that I want to know too, because wow, I am a procrastinator. I don't do anything until it's already due. So this
Okay,
is something
okay.
that could help all of us, I think.
Okay, great. This is a common question, actually. Thanks, Marge and JP. And here's the answer from an NLP perspective, from a coaching perspective. You don't remove things. You don't remove bad habits. You don't eliminate. What you do is replace them. So by removing something, you're still focusing on that thing. You're trying to take it out. And when you're taking something out from the closet, something that you don't want, it requires you to take a hold of it and pull it out, right? So what we do in coaching is we just find a replacement. Okay, what would you rather have? You start doing what you want, and inevitably the thing that you don't want will be replaced by the thing that you want. I hope that's been helpful.
It
Okay.
actually sounds almost too easy.
Yeah. Let me give a concrete example. I have a client who was addicted to, how do we say this? He was addicted to porn, and he wanted to get rid of it. I told him, you don't need to get rid of it. All you need to do is find other activities that nourish you even more. So he found out that when he goes for a walk, when he spends time with his kid, when he has good conversation, meaningful conversations with his wife, it becomes more, it fills in his heart. These are some of the activities that he has started to redo because he forgot to do those activities. So by doing something that nourishes you, that gives you makes you a better person. That's what you focus on, not on removing the other thing, but on what you want in life.
Right, and to reiterate, he didn't just replace right off
Yeah,
or quit cold turkey.
yeah.
He just superseded it with something that
In
he would
fact,
rather
yeah.
do.
Yeah, not necessarily cold turkey, whatever it was. It didn't matter if it was cold turkey or not. Sometimes that's too much pressure for some people. But he just focused on what the things that he wanted more, of, not the things that he wanted to remove.
All right, thank you, Edwin. We have a
You're
question
welcome.
from Alan Yumul. He's asking, as a leader of his group, what top 3 habits should his team see from him?
Okay, I don't hear JP right now, but I can read the question from Alan Yumul. 3 habits should my team see from me? Okay, there's an interesting way of writing it, Alan. Often when we coach clients um, to write their goals or write their habits, we often use the term true choice, and true choice means it is something that you would do regardless of what other people say. It's something that is truly uh, motivated from within, not motivated by somebody else or something like that. Okay, so the habits, you know what? Any good habit that empowers you, any good habit that makes you more productive, that makes you a better person, improves your relationships, any good habit that is good for you, I believe when other people witness that, see that in you, that in itself will inspire them, will motivate them to have better habits themselves. You don't need to design your own habits for other people. I guess that's the essence of my response. Alan, you do not design your habits for yourself to improve yourself, not to change other people. That's another thing that takes care of itself when you yourself have good habits. I hope that's been useful.
You're
Okay.
saying it's like be the best version of you for
Yeah.
yourself, and other people will see that.
Yes.
Okay,
And
great.
be
Thank you,
motivated
Edwin.
by that. Thank
And
you.
thank
Thank
you,
you.
Alan, for the question. That was a good question.
Thanks, Alan.
I believe Carlo Andrew was referring to the first question that Margie asked. He just followed up. Does it entail a particular time schedule to reinforce replacing those bad habits?
Okay. How do I answer this? That's why we want to go back to your current routine. If you do an overhaul, yes, that could work for some, but that usually works for a sprint. What does that mean? What we're encouraging, if you want a habit, is to do small incremental changes on a daily basis, not just 5 days a week, but 7 days a week. Um, Replacing the bad habit, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, focus on the good that you want to do, not on the bad that you want to get rid of. So just start doing the good thing. For instance, I started eating half rice instead of one or one and a half rice. So that's one thing that I've improved in my diet, and it's working very well so far. Okay. Thank you all for your questions. JP, I think we should go to our next part.
Sure. Yeah, if you do have more questions, Edwin
Yeah.
has kindly
So,
shared his email address
yeah,
on the screen.
please go ahead and send me an email. Let me know how else I can help you with your habits.
Yep. And so the lunch break is almost coming to an end, but the session is not yet done. Edwin has kindly created an activity for us. I believe he wants to help us concretize what we learned earlier about building habits. So you can go ahead and present your activity, Edwin. I actually don't know
Okay.
what's going to happen here.
Okay. So we're transitioning now a bit, everybody. Thanks to everybody for your participation in the first part. This is actually a second part which I created for you guys to complement what I discussed in the first part of the presentation on, and this is how to write empowering goals. If you recall, in the second part of building better habits, we have a portion there about aspire. We usually spend some time with our clients talking about their aspirations, talking about their goals. And this session is about that. So, very quickly, everybody, I hope you're ready to write very quickly. Just go ahead and write your 2018 goal, whether that's on paper or on your notepad on your laptop or on chat. If you want to just write it out directly on chat, go ahead, declare boldly what is your 2018 goal. Is that a sales goal? Is that a promotion goal? Is that a relationship goal? Go ahead, type in something in the chat box. And this is a draft goal. So go ahead, within this session, we're going to ask for a volunteer and just we're going to help that person empower your goals, power up your goals so that it's more powerful. There's more passion in it. There's more clarity in it. We're going to do some of it in this session. Thank you, JP. I want to be able to stream at least once a week. Very good. That's a good goal to have. How about the others? Imelda, to get at least 10 projects in 2018. Very good. Buy a house and learn violin this year. Very good. Hitting sales for business. Very good. Tatum. Yeah, thanks, Mike, Angelo, and Imelda for sharing. Everybody else who wants to join in, go ahead and put that in. So I'll give you 2 slides. These are guidelines that we help our coaching clients in We have a program called Skyrocket, and this is a portion of what we discuss with them. We tell them about BHAG. That's called BHAG is big, hairy, audacious goals. The goals that you write down for yourself become inspiring when they are BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goals. If you have a goal that's just small, it doesn't inspire transformation within you. So you want to have a big goal, big 1 year goal, 2 years, 3 year, 5 year goal. You want that in the long run. You want that in the long vision. Okay. And then it needs to be hairy and audacious. Sometimes what we say is, if you tell your friends about your goal and they don't say, really now, if they don't do that, if they say, oh, yeah, sure, you can do that. If they say you can just, it's simple for you to do it, maybe it's not big enough, maybe it's not hairy enough. For instance, there were two brothers, they said they want to go to take flight. That was a big, hairy, audacious goal for them. And if they didn't go for their goals, the Orwell brothers, if they didn't do that, maybe we're still not flying in airplanes, right? So you need to have big, hairy, audacious goals. Keep sharing those goals, guys. I'm seeing better health, eat healthier, be financially free, stop my belongings and relationships down to the most essential and inspiring. Yes, the Wright brothers. That's right. Thank you, Gerald. Okay, so that's one part, BHAG goals. The other is what we call SMART V. You need to write goals that are specific, measurable, attainable. There has to be some risk. It needs to be time bound. And similar to our Aspire slide earlier, it needs to be values based. Why? You need to know what values you're building by going for your goals. Because if you're not clear on your values related to your goals, achieving those goals will be empty. Okay? And we do have a guide for this, guys. Yeah, lose 40 pounds by December 2018. Right, right, brothers. That's right. I said Orwell. That's a author. No? Right, brothers. That's right. BHAG. Yes, can be scary. Absolutely can be scary. So we're here on Smart B, and you need to be values based. So we'll give you some examples. I'll give you one example, and then we'll dive in and extract one of those that are already in the chat box. So for example, oops. Okay, so for example, if you write your goal this way, the first half of the slide, I will have, or to be better at, I want to get. The thing with that is all these are stated in the future. So here's one simple way to improve your goal statement. State it in the present. So for example, I'm seeing here some of the goals. Example, better health, better finances, and become a better manager. Okay, so when you state your goal, this is Gerald Bautista. These are three separate goals. So if I were in front of you, Gerald, what I would do, let's go on. I am trying to get the whiteboard. JP or ano, could you help me get the whiteboard? There, I think I got it. Okay. So here's something. So here's an example. What we'll do here is we'll extract some of the stuff and help improve. Better health, better finances, and become a better, what is it? Better manager. Okay, so in this example, what I would do is I would ask Gerald to declare 3 different goals and become more specific. So let me ask some questions for Gerald. Okay. What specifically about health do you want to improve? Okay. Is it your nutrition? Is it exercise? Is it sleep, rest, taking a break? Those are all different things, right? So what you want to do is to be more specific about those goals. The tip that I had in in this slide was state it in presence. So if it were about health, Gerald, I'll go directly into it na. Gerald, if it were about health, instead of saying, I think there was an example earlier about 40 pounds, right? Instead of saying I lost, say for example, 50 pounds, okay? I'm putting together some of the different goals. Instead of saying I have lost 20 pounds, what you want to do is make it present tense. So you could say I am healthily, I eat healthy. Okay, I eat healthy food and weigh blank pounds. That's the way to state it in present tense and also in positive terms. Instead of saying lost 20 pounds, that losing 20 pounds, losing 20 pounds is not a good goal to write because you're focusing on something that you will lose. Focus on something that you are going towards. Let me write that down. Goal on something you are going towards, not away from. Okay? So I hope that's been useful. Let me get maybe one or two more examples. Yes, there you go. Peter has one example where it's stated in present tense. So let's use that as a good example. Okay, so I am back to my 120 by 80 blood pressure. We have something there. Okay, the thing is, here's a tip from one of our coaches as well. He says, health is a lifestyle. Like it's not just the and the number. So what he means by this is it's not just a number. What does that? It's good to be measurable, okay? But you want to be able to have a goal that includes the lifestyle. So if it is 120 by 80, what does that involve? Does that involve regular exercise? Because if you reach 120 by 80 on, let's say, January 30, are you going to stop whatever you're doing? You're not, diba? You're going to continue on with the habits. So on top of 120 over 80, okay, and you're maintaining that, what do you need to do? Healthier diet. What else? And sometimes it's relationships based, better, more forgiving, or less anger, or forgiving instead of less anger, more patient. Okay, these are things that are lifestyle based. It's your habit now. Okay, I hope this is useful for you guys.
It's
You
very
want to
useful even
maintain.
for me, Coach Edwin.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
sure the two who you use as examples very much appreciate it. And
yeah,
if anyone else wants to have you as their personal accountant,
exactly.
the
Account
accountancy
buddy, accountant,
buddy, then they can
accountability buddy.
email you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Accountability buddy, right?
Okay, so last thing, JP, before I end this, yeah, you mentioned that other people might want to have me as an accountability buddy. Actually, I've put together a free online webinar. We call it Power Up Goals. This is the second time I'm doing this. And I'm inviting the future-proof audience. Come back and let's come together and let's get back in touch with your biggest dreams. You will get coaching on writing empowering goals, similar to what we did now, just more detail and more examples, just so that everybody comes out with more powerful goal statements. This is happening on January 25, 2018. It's an 8 p.m. class, and I'd like to invite you to register. Come over, and I'd love to spend a little more time with you guys and help you through the many wonderful goals that you started writing what I want to do is just to magnify and increase the impact of those goals for you, help you just distill them, have more clarity so that you can go for your goals in 2018. Thanks so much, guys.